Hello, Christina's World Kitchen. I'm Christina Martinez-Williams, and I am going to make a pork rind pizza crust tonight. I know yesterday we had pork rind tortillas, and I felt like making another thing with pork rinds because my husband usually doesn't eat dinner with us on Fridays, and so the girls and I are eating something with pork rinds. This is easy to make, and I'm going to use a baking sheet instead of a pizza stone. You can use both. I actually have only done it with a baking sheet and it works well. So I'm making it into like a rectangular pizza. It makes like a medium, a good size pizza, or two small ones. And what we're gonna do is, I have 2 ounces of cream cheese, and we're going to melt that with 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. We're gonna put it in for about 45 seconds. And then we're gonna stir, we're gonna add 2 more ingredients, and then all we've got to do is roll out the dough. So tell me where you're watching from. I would love to know. And thumbs up, hearts, share this video. Put the word, or tell me like it if you like pizza in the comments. I like this one because it's high protein and low carb. And if you don't want to add any more meat on it, or you already have your protein, it's all there. We're going to have pepperoni on it and cheese. And we're having some bell peppers on the side. But you could also put that on there. What would you put on your pizza? What else would you put? I heard today someone likes olives on their pizza. I love jalapenos on my pizza. I don't have any more jalapenos for me to put jalapenos on it. What else would you put on it? We're gonna use our pizza sauce. I think so. I think we have our pizza sauce. We're gonna use our pizza sauce, and we are going to, I'm gonna see if this is enough or if I need to stir it some more. I'm thinking maybe one more stir or one more melt. I want it to be all kind of blended together. So I'm gonna put it in for another maybe like 30 seconds at the most. There's a little bit more strands. I want it to be a little bit more blended. So I'm gonna check probably about that. Candace, it's kind of like a fathead dough. It does have elements of a fathead dough, but because it has pork rinds, it's not. So it's like a fathead dough plus some pork rinds. No, if that makes sense. So yes and no. Yes and no. Good question. All right, let me see if this is enough for me to mix it. I think so. I'm gonna turn you all around, back around to the oven. I have the oven preheated to 375 degrees. And oh yeah, you're in Washington State. Candace, what part of Washington State are you in? I went to college, undergrad in Washington State, in Spokane. All right, so I lived there a long time ago, but for 4 years. That was the first place that I ever lived outside of where I grew up, which was in Colorado. How long have you lived there, Candace? Okay, now I have that all mixed, and I'm going to add 1 egg to it. So yes, this is the part, these 3 so far are the part that is a fathead recipe. I'm gonna mix this. It's not going to mix so well because it's so liquidy and it's not like open porous. Oh, you currently live in Yelm, Washington. I don't know where that is. Okay, cool. I don't know what part, what is that close to? Or what part of the state is that close to? Okay, now I am going to add the last 2 ingredients. The last 2 ingredients are dry ingredients. Hi Rosalie, make sure you thumbs up, hearts, share this video so that more people can also see that they can have like a delicious pizza crust that is high protein and low carb. This is a half a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm gonna mix it with my pork rinds. So I have a half a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm gonna mix it with a cup of pork rinds. This is when actually this is gonna make the Italian style pork rinds from Porking Good. This is actually going to be good. Yesterday it was kind of a weird combination with it tasted good, but with the tortillas. But today this is perfect for the pizza. If you do not have one that already has Italian seasoning in it, then you will be using regular pork rinds from Panko, or crushing up your own or blending your own. And then adding to that garlic. oh goodness, garlic and basil and oregano, to your preference. I usually like sprinkle those 3 in to any pizza crust that I'm making so that it has that seasoning. All right, I'm just separating these out. I did not do a very good job of mixing mixing that that baking powder before I started putting the rest of the pork rinds in. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Let's see if I can like get down here and move it around. I chose the wrong, well, this is the measuring cup instead of the cup to mix it, but yeah, this isn't gonna necessarily work, but that's okay. I can mix it once it's inside the thing. I have 2 pieces of parchment here. This recipe is not on my blog yet. It's not on my blog yet. So you guys get to see it here first. And it's one that I did in the past, but Facebook erases lives after 30 days. And in the beginning, I didn't do very well at getting those downloaded before they were erased. So some of them are still there. Most of them, a lot of them are not, unfortunately. Okay, so now, and then some, this is one of those that's like a brand new recipe that I created that is that it hasn't then been written yet. It's not in Spanish either. A lot of my recipes are still in Spanish and then slowly being moved to English, but this one is in neither language yet. Okay, so now we have a cup of, I'll repeat though, Rosalie, for you the ingredients. There's a cup of mozzarella cheese. There's 2 ounces of cream cheese. There's 1 egg. There's a cup of pork rinds and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Now is where I want to get the pork rinds incorporated into this cheese fathead dough type, like you said, Candace, type of recipe. And it takes a little bit of like pushing because you have to just get it to combine as much as you can. So it's like pushing it in, like pushing it, folding it, pushing it, folding it, so that it can combine into the crust. Actually, it's like pulling it. So if you see, I like do push and then I like pull it to push it into the mixture. All right. Now, Mitzi's the photo bomber right now because Joe isn't here. So she's the stand-in photo bomber. And she's making her dinner too. All right. Now we're gonna do this in between 2 pieces of parchment paper. I'm gonna angle this down a little bit so you can see better. And then I'll transfer it over to my baking sheet. I have the oven at 375. And I'm gonna put it onto the top one and then I'm gonna flip the top one from the top to the bottom. My husband also, he doesn't eat pork, nor does he like the smell of pork rinds. He opened something that had, I think it was the tortilla warmer, and he was not excited about that smell. All right, now we're going to use a rolling pin and a second piece of parchment paper, and we want this to be pretty thin, and I'm gonna make it into a rectangle. And I'm gonna keep in mind how big my my baking sheet is because I don't want to extend it past my baking sheet width or lengthwise. So I'm gonna work each side, kind of going front and backward, like width to width and then length to length. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit too big on one side. Let's see. I have to push it into my sheet to see if I've extended it too much. All right. Now, if you like pizza, put the word pizza, thumbs up, hearts, share this video because more people do want to know how to do this. And this might not be one that they have made before. I made this for an event at my house a few events back, and someone who was at the event was so excited about it that she wanted the recipe afterwards. And this one is like a big baking sheet, so I'm going to see how I did. My eyeballing did pretty well. Just a little bit too big, so that's great. Oh, it's almost great. So now I'm going to lift up the parchment paper. It is pretty thin. I'll show you so you can have an idea of the thickness. Let's see. So if you can see, it's pretty thin. And then we're going to put it in the oven at 375 degrees for, I was trying to make sure I'm telling you the right amount from my recipe. It is for, okay, I couldn't find it. 10 to 12 minutes. So then if it's golden, you want to make sure both sides are golden, and then then you're going to add your toppings. Then you're going to put it back in the oven with your toppings, your pizza, whatever you want to add to the top of it. Your cheese, your pizza sauce, my pizza sauce if you want to use mine, and pepperoni like we're going to use, or whatever veggies you want to put on it. Maybe I'll put spinach. I don't know. Maybe not. That would be good though. Like chicken and spinach on this too. I don't know. That'd be really good. And then put it back in for about 7 minutes or 6 minutes just to make sure that it gets melted. You can keep an eye on it. And that is it. So, gotta give it a try. You can also use it, you don't have to use it as a pizza crust. You can use it as like a flatbread and just eat it like a flatbread, or as a wrap for a sandwich, or just as a bread alongside a soup or a salad. So great, such a great option, high protein, low carb. And that's it. From my house to your kitchen, global flavors and healthy plates from around the world. Bye.